Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my videos. Going to be giving you my starting 11 prediction for our game against West Brom on Sunday. So yeah, I think Solskjaer is going to make changes from the 1-0 win against West Ham recently. So I think he's going to go with David De Gea in goal. I hope though Dean Henderson goes in goal, because I think Dean Henderson is now reliable enough to become our number one goalkeeper because he has got that experience behind him. He did endure 2 successful loans with Sheffield United, and Dean Henderson has done well in the games he has played in this season. But revert back to what I said, I think it is going to be David De Gea in goal. Solskjaer recently warned David De Gea that his place is not secure in the Man United team. He said no one's place is safe at Man United. They've obviously got to earn their place. And David De Gea got criticised, reflecting on the 2 mistakes he made in our 3-3 draw with Everton. Effectively, he cost us that game. But in the last couple of years, David De Gea has made a lot of calamitous mistakes. But a few years ago, he was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. This is his 10th season at Manchester United, so he has been a long servant. When De Gea leaves Manchester United, I think he will go back to Spain. He's made over 500 appearances for the club in all competitions. But yeah, like I say, Solskjaer's got a decision to make on David De Gea. At right back, I'm going to go with Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka did play in the cup against West Ham. Didn't do a lot going forward, but I thought defensively it was good. And in the game against West Ham, he did have a careless moment where he nearly scored an own goal. But yeah, in some games, Wan-Bissaka can get forward well. He can take players on at the edge of the box and he can put some good crosses into the box. This is his 2nd season at Man United. The 2 centre-halves, I think, are going to be Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire. Victor Lindelof obviously played against West Ham. I think he enjoyed a pretty good game. He was good defensively. Also had a good chance in the game against West Ham from a header, but he produced a good save from Fabianski. I still have my reservations though about Victor Lindelof. Harry Maguire, he got given man of the match by the BBC, surprisingly. I thought he did well against West Ham. He was solid defensively. Showed that ability to play out from the back. And Harry Maguire has enjoyed good games this season. But he still certainly wasn't worth the £80 million that we got him for. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment. And he's the 2nd most expensive signing at the club. Now at left-back, I think Luke Shaw will come back into the team. He obviously didn't start against West Ham. It was Tellez that started against West Ham. And to Tellez's credit, he did very, very well against West Ham. He showed good attacking intent. He got in some very, very good positions, put some dangerous balls into the box and defensively did well. Tellez has played nowhere near as much as I expected him to. But despite his arrival last summer, Luke Shaw still remains our first choice left back. Luke Shaw did come on in the game against West Ham. But Luke Shaw's really, really improving. He's getting forward well. He's getting into good positions. He's creating chances for his teammates. And defensively, he's been superb. Luke Shaw has been at Man United now over 6 years. He's had a good career at the club, apart from his injuries. We got Luke Shaw in a deal worth £30 million from Southampton back in 2014. Now, the midfield, I'm going to go with Fred and Scott McTominay. I think Fred is really improving as a Manchester United player. You know, he's showing good attacking intent. He's breaking up the play well. His passing's getting better. Fred's been at the club now a few years. Fred didn't do too bad against West Ham, but I thought his passing was quite poor in that game. Scott McTominay, he's enjoyed good games as a Man United player. Obviously, McTominay scored the goal against West Ham in the Cup in extra time. It was a well-taken goal from McTominay. It was a good volley. And it was also a good flick on from Marcus Rashford to find him. McTominay also enjoyed a very good game against Leeds earlier on in the season. He scored twice in that game and he got an assist. He did well against Watford in the FA Cup third round, scored in the 5th minute of that game, and he also did well in the 9-0 win against Southampton. McTominay has been part of the club for several years. Ahead of them two, we will go with Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes didn't start against West Ham, but he did come on and he made an impact. Bruno Fernandes said he's planning on spending many years at Man United after his 12-month anniversary. In most of Bruno Fernandes' games, he has been very consistent. There's only been a few games where he has looked off the pace, and he does deny that he needs a rest because he wants to help the club win trophies. Back in December, he won Player of the Month, that he has won that now quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Now, it said not so long ago that we are 3 months into contract talks with Bruno Fernandes, but he actually then said that contract talks had stalled. Bruno Fernandes' current contract at Man United expires in 2025, but there's an option to extend his contract for a further year. We initially paid, £47 million for Fernandes, but the overall cost is just over 67 million with add-ons. I think on the right-hand side, we will go with Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood has really improved recently, but still hasn't managed to get his name on the score sheet. Mason Greenwood did play against West Ham. He had a chance, but it was blocked. But Mason Greenwood can make some very good runs down that right. He can find pockets of space. He can put some good crosses into the box, and he can create chances. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been defending him a lot this season. Earlier on this season, didn't really have a perception on him because at one point he had injury. At one point he was out with illness. And at one point he had personal issues. At the start of this season, we give him that number 11 shirt. I think he's the foreseeable future for Man United because he has still got a lot of development in him. On the left-hand side, I think we're going to go with Marcus Rashford. You know, do you actually think, though, that Marcus Rashford does need a rest? You know, Marcus Rashford did play against West Ham in the Cup recently. Obviously had a very good chance, one-on-one with Fabianski, but Fabianski made a very good save. I think Marcus Rashford's really improving under Ollie, but he's still enjoying some poor games. You know, when he gets in front of goal, his decision-making seems to be poor. His passing seems to be poor. And his finishing seems to be poor. But when he's playing well, Rashford, he can get good runs in behind. He can create chances. And he can score good goals. We need to keep him out wide because that's where he's more effective. Rashford has been part of the club for several years. And up top, I think we are going to go with Edinson Cavani. Edison Cavani has made a fantastic impact since he come in. You know, Edison Cavani holds up the play well. He creates chances. His movement in and out of the box is very, very good. We got Edison Cavani on a free transfer last summer on deadline day. He signed a 1-year contract with Man United with an option of a second year. And I can assure that he will see out his contract at Man United. So that's how I think we could line up against West Brom on Sunday. Obviously, Paul Pogba is out with a thigh injury for a few weeks, so he isn't going to be involved. Eric Bailly has been out with injury recently, but he actually could be available for this game. You know, the question is, will Ole start him? Now, I'm expecting us to beat West Brom on Sunday, because obviously we are second in the Premier League and we've got a very, very good away record. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. The last time we lost away from home in the Premier League was to Liverpool back in January 2020. We haven't travelled to the Hawthorns since 2017. We've won our last 2 trips to the Hawthorns. You know, we won that game in 2017 2-1. And I think we won the other one 2-0. We had that very, very good game at the Hawthorns back in 2013. It did end 5-5. That was Sir Alex Ferguson's last game in charge of Man United. We did beat West Brom earlier on this season at Old Trafford 1-0. It was a controversial penalty decision and West Brom felt as though they should have had a penalty in that game. But I thought that game at Old Trafford earlier on in the season was a very, very poor game. It lacked quality. West Brom are a very, very poor team. I think West Brom could go down this season. Their current manager is Sam Allardyce. They appointed Sam Allardyce in earlier on this season to replace Slaven Bilic because West Brom sacked Slaven Bilic. I do know quite a few of their players. Obviously, they've got that Grady Diagana. He's been out with injury. He may not be available for this one. They've also got that Callum Robinson. They've got Matisse Pereira. They've got Carlan Grant. They've got Carnu. They've got that Connor Townsend. They've got Conor Gallagher. I think they got Conor Gallagher on loan from Chelsea. They've got Jake Livermore. They've got Robert Snodgrass. I think they brought him in not so long ago. They've got Maitland-Niles. They brought him in from Arsenal not so long ago. They've got Bartley. They've got Kieran Gibbs. They've got Branislav Ivanovic. Obviously, they've got Sam Johnstone. He's one of their goalkeepers. He's West Brom's first choice goalkeeper. He's former Man United goalkeeper, so I presume he'll be reuniting with the club on Sunday. I think Solskjaer will be giving his press conference for this game tomorrow. Obviously, after West Brom, we do play Real Sociedad in the Europa League. As you all know, the first leg against Real Sociedad is going to be played in Turin due to the travel restrictions in Spain. And our next league game after West Brom is Newcastle. But yeah, we need to get back to winning ways in the Premier League. Obviously, we drew our last league game against Everton 3-3. We certainly should have won that game because we squandered a 2-goal lead. We was leading twice in that game. You know, Solskjaer made an admission after the 3-3 draw with Everton, and he said we shouldn't be considered as title chasers. A lot of Man United fans have now disregarded the title, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer himself has disregarded the title. But Solskjaer didn't mention the title race before that admission. You know, he was just taking one game at a time. It looks very, very imminent now that Manchester City are going to win the Premier League. They're 5 points clear of us with a game in hand. But, you know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. I think, you know, for us to be genuine title contenders, we've obviously got to make more signings. We've got to start beating the top 6 sides in the Premier League because we've struggled against the top 6 sides in the Premier League this season. But I can assure that we will finish in the top 4 this season. Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. You know, we haven't won a trophy since 2017 and the club of our stature need to be winning trophies. You know? Obviously, you know, the FA Cup is a chance of a trophy and the Europa League is a chance of a trophy. But I do think, you know, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has made fantastic progress at Manchester United. You know, because performances have been improving, certain players have been improving. We've won more games at Old Trafford as well. But obviously all our defeats have come at Old Trafford this season. We was unbeaten in 13 Premier League games in a row until Sheffield United had beaten us. You know, Solskjaer has got us to the FA Cup quarter-final. It's our 7th. We progressed to the quarter-finals for the 7th consecutive year. This season got us to the EFL Cup semi-final, lost that to Man City 2-0. You know, Solskjaer did well last season in his first full season at the club, guided us to 3 semi-finals, got us 3rd, the second highest we've finished since Ferguson, and he got us qualification for the Champions League. Solskjaer has made good signings since he got appointed in as Man United manager. He's spent over £200 million at the club. And so far he has enjoyed 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager. And to his credit as well, he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended in. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to be given at least one more season at Man United. You know, this is his 2nd full season at the moment. We do deserve credit for sticking with him because, like I've said time and time again before, he could have easily have been sacked as Manchester United manager because we've obviously endured very, very bad periods under him. Like I updated you recently, Man United will wait until the end of the season to begin contract talks with Solskjaer. He says we could offer him a 2-year deal on one condition. That's if we qualify for the Champions League. Solskjaer has 16 months left on his current contract. When Solskjaer got the job permanently back in March 2019, he signed a 3-year contract. But I think he does deserve a new contract reflecting on the progress he has made. Reflecting now on Solskjaer's been at the football club, he has gained some managerial experience. Man United is the third club in his managerial career. I think he's also learnt quite a bit on the job. He's been Man United manager now over 2 years. We appointed Solskjaer in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. Like I said, he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. And he is our fourth permanent manager since Ferguson retired. Obviously, 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson retired, and that was David Moyes, sacked him after 10 months. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning 3 trophies in his first season. Solskjaer did recently say that our summer transfer plans could be affected by the coronavirus pandemic. But like I said, I am expecting us to make signings in the summer transfer window. And I've given you the 3 areas where Man United need to strengthen up already. Now it says we are prepared to smash our transfer record in the summer. And he says Woodward is set to hand Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a huge war chest to sign top players in all areas. So hopefully Woodward's going to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the summer, because I think the transfer windows Solskjaer's enjoyed so far, he hasn't been backed enough, and Woodward has come out several times to support Solskjaer. He even assured that Solskjaer's job was safe, when we had them bad periods under him. And he said towards the end of last year that he will back him with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. But it was a disappointing January transfer window for us, because, like I said, we only saw one arrival, and that was Amad Diallo Traore. Amad Diallo Traore is not long from the first team squad now. He's already made 2 appearances for the under-23s. But yeah, like I say, Solskjaer did say a few times during the January transfer window that he wasn't expecting any signings. But we did see more fringe players leave in the January transfer window. We saw Jesse Lingard go out on loan to West Ham. We loaned Teden Mengi out. We let Marcus Rojo go. We let Timothy Fosu-Mensah go to Bayer Leverkusen. Odion Ighalo also said his farewells to the football club. Earlier on today, I did give you the news on Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. So reports in Germany have said Borussia Dortmund could sell up to 8 players in the summer to raise funds. Jadon Sancho is 90% likely to leave Dortmund in the summer, because it recently said Dortmund have reduced their asking price for Sancho to £88 million, so they've knocked 20 million off, because last summer Dortmund wanted £108 million, and we was obviously not willing to meet that valuation, but he was our number 1 priority target last summer. You know the news on Sergio Ramos from Real Madrid. Now, Fabrizio Romano denies that we've made contact with Sergio Ramos' agent. But apparently Sergio Ramos wants to come to Man United, and he has rejected a 2-year contract offer from Real Madrid. And it said that Sergio Ramos' agent will fly to England and finalise a 2-year deal for his client, which could be worth around £200,000 a week. Dayot Upamecano now to Man United is off by the looks of things because we're no longer in the race for the player. But there has been so many players on our agenda. But like I say, it's just good that we are seeing consistency under Solskjaer, because we didn't see consistency for a while, let's be honest. I think we've made quite a lot of mistakes since Ferguson retired, and that's one of the main explanations why, we're so inconsistent for so long. I've been saying in recent months, Solskjaer is bringing the old Man United back. Reflects on the good performances, and we've come from behind in a lot of games this season, and we used to do that a lot under the Sir Alex Ferguson era. So we have been getting glimpses of the Sir Alex Ferguson era in certain games and all of that. No one's going to achieve what Ferguson achieved at the club, and no one's going to last as long as he did. But Solskjaer definitely needs more time, because even Ferguson, he didn't settle in straight away. He didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. Good job he didn't get sacked in that 4-year period, Ferguson, because if he had done, we wouldn't have had any success. Before Ferguson, we was inconsistent because we weren't good under Ron Atkinson, we weren't good under Wolf McGuinness, and we certainly weren't good under Franco Farrell. We got relegated under Franco Farrell back in 1974. But I think our current squad is definitely good enough to finish at least in the top 4. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. I'll see you all again very, very soon.